Hi, today in the Small Interview Project I'll be talking to Mick Ashely from Leafy Sea Dragon Artwork.
Today in the Small Interview Project I'm with Mick Ashely, and Mick's from Leafy Sea Dragon Artwork. How are you today, Mick?
Good, thanks mate. How are you?
I'm good. Look, thanks for taking part in the project with me.
Pleasure.
Tell me about Leafy Sea Dragon Artwork. Obviously it's I've got a bit of an idea on some of the things you do, but tell me more detail.
Sure, look, I'm a sole trader. I started in 2010 and I'm basically an artist.
Okay.
But I also do lots of designs and commission works and sometimes for personal or for commercial purposes.
Okay, tell me about the name. It's got quite a unique name, Leafy Sea Dragon.
Well, look, a Leafy sea dragon, it's an aquatic animal that you find in the southern waters of Australia, and it was something I knew as a kid, and I thought it was a pretty weird sort of name. And it's unique, vibrant, quirky, and it's perfect for what I do because my artwork represents that quite well.
So your artwork is a little bit on the quirky side, or how would you describe your artwork?
Yeah, look, it evolves over time, and in a very short time. I've only just started doing this about 3 years ago.
Right.
But my most recent style is what I call digital lino.
Right.
And digital lino, if you think of the old lino cuts that you used to do at school,
Yep.
it's all done digitally on a Wacom tablet. It's all hand drawn. But what I do is I take photographs or sometimes sit down and sketch, and take that home, put it on the computer, and then I start drawing what I see on the computer screen.
Okay.
Then I remove the photo and start to manipulate colours and do different things with it. But
so it's all computer generated artwork, or
it is mostly, yeah. I still do it the old-fashioned way with mixed media, acrylic, gouache, watercolour, those sort of things. But I'm finding that it's such a versatile piece of technology, and you can still do your skill set. You can be very flexible with it.
Yeah.
One of the best advantages is that you get a consistency about the colours, and you can, when you reproduce them, you can do them digitally. Definitely. You can scale them, reduce them to any size. And if you stuff it up, you can hit Control-Z, which is which is perfect.
There are some advantages, aren't there? So who's the perfect client for you? Who are you trying to target? You mentioned sort of corporates and also individuals, but who are you trying to reach out to?
Well, at this stage, I haven't really found a specific market. It seems to be everybody.
Right.
So the first thing you do is you go to the markets to test out the target audience. And the first thing you want to know is, do they like it? Because it's your personality on a piece of paper.
Yep.
And I've found that pretty much anybody. I've had a fair amount of guys come in there, and which is, I think, a fairly unique thing to do, because when you go to the markets, a lot of the guys feel like they're being roped in, and maybe I'm stereotyping here. It seems to attract them, and I think it's also capturing part of Canberra that most people outside of Canberra don't see.
Sure.
So it's kind of the thing that really drove me was that there wasn't really a sense of a soul in Canberra. People say, "Oh, it's crap. It's a bit dry, and I can't wait for Christmas. I can go down the coast," type thing. But for me, there's a lot happening in Canberra, and you don't have to have all the sites, all the big events, although they do occur. Yeah. But it's more about where do people go? Where do they go to have coffee or a beer, or do they go out to different places? Or they go to the library? Do they, what do they do?
So you're capturing all that.
Pretty much, and there's huge cultures. I mean, the coffee culture's has been kicking on for a while. The cycling culture here is massive. Yeah. And as you probe into it, there are lots of these other hidden events that happen. Okay. You think about a lot of the sport that happens in Canberra. A lot of people come from Canberra, come to Canberra because of the public service, or because of defence, or there are embassies, diplomatic missions. So there are people here in a transient way, only here for a posting, and they want a memento. And what they like the most, it appears, is this is where we used to go hang out in the shops, and this is where we used to have our picnics, or this is where we used to do barbecues and stuff.
So it's got that personal touch as far as your lifestyle or your activities that you do.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding. It's, it seems to be a fair niche market as well.
Okay, cool, awesome. All right, let me get into my my small interview questions for you and interrogate you. Look, tell me, Mick, why did you go into business in the first place?
It was serendipitous. I had an opportunity to leave the public service. I was there for 22 years. Yep. And I was thinking, well, I've got to do something with my skill set. Right. And I was going to take a year off. It was more of a hobby, just to see if I could make a fist of it. And then they offered a voluntary redundancy, and that was perfect. Yeah. So it gave me a chance to do a 5-year plan. At the end of the 5 years, I'm hoping to match what I was earning in the public service. That was pretty much the loose goal.
Good thing you're actually left with the plan, so that's good.
Yeah, that's right. But you've got to have a few safety nets when you
Yeah.
do something like that. You know,
Sure.
especially in the middle of a GFC. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of risk. But I had a lot of support. My wife was fantastic, and I mean she's still working, and it meant that we could pay the house off basically. So we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And it gave me a chance to
Follow
just
the
to
dream.
learn. Yeah.
Okay. If you had your time over again, would you do anything differently?
Yeah, look, I don't think so. I think again it was just there was a lot more things that were going for me, and again planning was perfect.
Yep.
Using all the skill set I had in the public service, using everything I remembered and learnt came into play. So no, I don't think so.
And did you spend much time actually doing that planning process before you sort of kicked off your business?
Yes, I mean, funnily enough, as I said, I was going to do it 12 months before, so it was, I already had things planned out, and it just meant that I had to speed things up a bit, but no, it was good.
Yeah, all right. What would you say is your biggest challenge?
Well, especially in, anybody that's a sole trader would know that it's, you don't know when your next pay slip's coming in. So you've got to be inventive in, if you're creative in your art, you've got to be creative in how you find work.
Yeah.
So, the biggest obstacle the first year was an experiment. The second year was the hardest because you're trying to get yourself known. And the paradox is people won't come to you unless they know you, but how would they know you if you don't see them?
So marketing, you'd say, would be your biggest branding and marketing? Is that the biggest challenge sort of in that context?
Yeah, I think so. I think this year's been a fantastic year. The centenary years for me has been my breakout year. So it gave me a great opportunity to launch out and do a lot of Canberra stuff.
Sure. And
to attach the right network. So finding that network, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you balance sort of working on the business versus in the business?
Yeah, well, work-life balance is always going to be a tricky one, but it's getting easier each year.
Right.
And again, you can't do a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So but you do have to have some me time and family time. Yeah. So
what about business time? We're actually not so much creating the stuff you're selling, but working on customizing or developing and amending the plan that you've already got.
Yeah, I'd say about 70% of that would be that.
Okay.
So the artwork that's the easy part.
Yeah.
So getting the ideas isn't so bad, but going out there, getting stock, drumming up business, having retailers, distributors, all those sort of things. So there's a few hats you got to wear, and if you can, just recently I've got somebody who's able to distribute cards for me. I do greeting cards for my artwork, and they're able to go out into Canberra and beyond. Right. So that's one less hat to wear. And so once you get those sort of connections, I've had a few discussions with Rotary Club and a few charity organisations. So that's been excellent, free publicity and
just building that network and getting your name out there in as many places as you can.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And my last question for you, Mick, is somebody who's about to take the plunge, whether they're going to leave the public service by force or without force, or start their own business, what advice would you have give to them?
Yeah, I was trying to work this. There's quite a few things, but I guess you just got to be patient and persevere and planning.
Yeah.
So, make sure you have a plan, and make sure you're flexible. You just have to be adaptable and flexible, and allow yourself for those sort of things. And again, be patient. Don't be at the right place at the right time is one thing, but you've just got to consistently be there.
Sure. Yeah. Good advice. So a different version of the 3 Ps there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mick, look, thanks very much for your time on the Small View project today, and good luck with everything in your business.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.